It's training camp season. Today we're looking at the Raiders and getting a good look at Ashton Jeanty. We're going to watch him work through some drills, catch some balls, everything else. But before we dig in, you need to click that subscribe button right now because we're looking at your favorite players from your favorite teams, those rookies, and those guys that you're getting ready to draft in fantasy football every single day at training camp. Click that button. Be in to know what your players are doing behind the scenes at practice. But here we go. We're looking at Ashton Jeanty here today. Almost 5 minutes of clips. We'll loop this and keep talking ball, but here he is. Going through the bags. Showing it off right there. Right there in pads. In pads. These teams just recently started working in pads. He's looking good. He's looking good. Working on some blocking. Looking stout. Looking stout. Through the bags. Doing some bag work there. There he is. There he is. Thick. Top and bottom. Catching balls, working on that. Sturdy. That's one thing I can say. Look at the feet. The feet tells all. Feet tells all. He's got good vision, good contact balance. Feet tells all. Light on them feet. You see that in the second level. You see how he spins out of being hit. There he is. He looks like an NFL caliber running back. He looks the part. There he is right there. Feet's light. He's light on those feet. He's light on the feet. Here's more. Punt returns. Boom. Moves laterally very well. There's Carroll out there. Some more. Is that him? That don't even look like him. Oh, it's a montage of other things. Some more coming at you. Not him, but we're getting a look. We're getting a look. So that's giving you context. They're letting everybody do it. They're letting everybody get an opportunity. So if you're worried about when you saw that, they're trying to see what they got, who responds best. With Carroll chasing you. That's what they're doing. That's what they're doing. This is from ABC 13. But this is it. This is the clip that blew up. I think people don't realize how good of a receiver Ashton Jeanty is getting downfield. And for a good representation of that, go back to the high school tape. Go to his high school tape. I got a little bit on the channel, but it's so far back there, you're probably not going to find it. Go back to his high school tape, his downfield ability of just bringing in the ball. While contested even, it's quite the sight to see. He's a good receiver downfield. You can really deploy him on more routes than what you think, especially downfield. Getting him a good average depth of target for a running back. Really, for a running back, anything above 0 is a good average depth of target. If you're 1 or more, that's a good indicator that you're running routes downfield because you're getting a lot of targets behind the line of scrimmage, a lot of negative ADOTs in those numbers, skewing the averages. Boom. He's thick. He's thick. He's going to be tough to tackle. It's going to be tough to tackle. What you saw, boys, is what you're going to get here with the Raiders. Getting some looks here. Ashton Jeanty. Ashton Jeanty is drafted to be the guy. He's going the first round of fantasy drafts. So you got to make that decision on the tail of the draft. When you're drafting that 10, 11, 12 spot, you go him, Derrick Henry, Devin Achane. Maybe something falls. If something falls, you're probably taking that value. But are you doing that? That's usually the tail on underdog drafts. Unless you go another route at running back, you reach a little bit. It's all good what you want to do. But are you going with the veterans? Or are you going with the rookie here that got drafted very high? A record setter out of Boise State that has all the intangibles. You just got to see if it gets put together in the NFL game. Huge price tag considering. But they drafted him to give him a lot of touches. They drafted him to give him the workload. They didn't draft him just to bring him along slowly. This isn't the quarterback position. This is a running back position. They're not here to mess around. It's not like they're going to ride out Mostert and then let Ashton Jeanty watch a little bit and then give him the ball in week 10. Like, it could be anticlimactic week 1, 2, or something like that. He's going to be the guy. He's going to be the focal point. And this offense is different compared to a lot of teams because you got a top prospect at running back and you got a top prospect at tight end that is flashing at high levels during his rookie season. And that's just a different build compared to a lot of offenses. Don't forget about Jack Betch from this year's draft. They're using him a lot in the slot. I think he's going to be a good role player, a good asset to this offense. I think he's going to surprise a lot of folks this year. Not forgetting about Jakobi Meyers and anybody like that, but I'm saying he's going to surprise a lot of people this year. Bowers is solid. We've been waiting for him to come out for the draft forever since he's a freshman, which is very rare for a tight end. They got one of the top tight ends in the league. They got one of the top running back prospects already in the league. If you can get Jack Betch hitting to that upside, he killed it at the Senior Bowl. He was killing it downfield as a good piece to Jakobi Meyers. And Geno Smith facilitates the Rockwell with that offensive line. This could be a sneaky, sneaky team. I'm very interested in how this team moves going forward with what they got because they are built differently. They're built different. They got that dog in them. They got that Genty dog. They got the Bowers dog. And now they got to start building on that outside, trying to get extra weapons to help burn teams downfield. That's going to happen. They're going to keep bringing in more weapons. That's going to happen. But you look at Betch. Betch is going to be a sneaky play. He's going to have a role in this offense. It's probably going to be this year as a rookie too. He's going to be a sneaky play. He's probably going to be having some moments this year, and I'm not going to be surprised. And they're deep at tight end too. It's not just Bowers. They got Michael Mayer, who's one of the top tight ends in college football, who could also kill it in the receiving game. This is a team that's built different. Like, they're so stacked at tight end. They got multiple tight ends that can start for multiple teams. And now you're looking at the running back position. Now they're juicy there. They're juicy there with Ashton Jeanty. I look for Ashton Jeanty to go off this year. I look for him to start going off. I look for him to get a lot of touches. I look for him to get a lot of work. I look for him to be good week to week. That top end upside versus like a Derrick Henry is what you're looking at versus some of those stud wide receivers for fantasy football. That is the question. You got burned by Marvin Harrison Jr. last year. You might go towards the vets. But that's the question. That's the fork in the road. That's the fork in the road there. And sometimes we see these first-round picks get selected at running back and they hit. And they usually do hit. They take some games, though, to really materialize. But you're looking at a guy like Ashton Jeanty for the Raiders. I think the AFC West is going to be a dogfight year in and year out. And that's the future of the AFC West. It's going to be a huge dogfight. The Chargers are retooling. And you're looking at the Broncos. They got the quarterback. They got a nasty defense. They're adding weapons. Which, you're looking at those teams like, why is that good for the Raiders? Well, the king of the AFC West, the Chiefs, those are more teams to ding them up while you guys are retooling, getting together, while you're trying to exceed expectations and backdoor some games. And those teams beating up each other every week. Now, if you're legit, it ain't going to matter. It ain't going to matter. You're just going to be in some dogfights. You're going to have to deal with it. But you guys are built different. You guys are built different. It's going to be fun to watch. It's going to be interesting. The AFC West, there's going to be some dogfights coming up in these next few years. There's going to be some dogfights. The Chiefs ain't going to be the Chiefs. The Chiefs ain't going to be the Chiefs. You're seeing some of these teams come up. You're seeing some teams rise from the ashes here. And it could be all of them. It could be all of them. The Raiders change the coaching staff. They're changing the personnel. They're changing the players. They're making some big-time picks here. They got some big-time players coming up. Things are changing here for the Raiders. And they're moving along just like some of these other teams. The AFC West, it's going to get dangerous here. I'm definitely saying that. It's going to be very competitive. You're going to get some fun football. And the Raiders are building. I like how they're building. I like how they're different. They're good at tight end. They're good at running back. I like Ashton Jeanty. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I want to hear about that. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on the way out. One thing for watching. Catch you on the next video.